Roger Federer vs Yuichi Sugita RECAP from Hopman Cup 2018. Federer wins season opener. Federer had played Sugita, who plays much of his tennis on the Challenger Tour, just once before. They met on the grass of Halle earlier this year, with the Swiss triumphing for the loss of just 4 games. The difference in records between the two players could hardly have been more stark, with the Japanese player having never cracked the top 30 and with just one title to Federer's 95. The pair played the opening match of Japan vs Switzerland in the Hopman Cup team format, ahead of Naomi Osaka and Belinda Bencic's women's singles element. The 4 players would then combine in the final match of the session for a mixed doubles clash played in the Fast 4 format. Roger Federer vs Yuichi Sugita Live. Latest Hopman Cup 2018 score 10:40 p.m. Federer looks pretty relaxed in his on-court interview, as you might expect, reminiscing about going on from last year's Hopman Cup to win the Australian Open. "I feel like the game has evolved," Federer said. "I've made some adjustments to my game, trying to hit through the backhand more. I think in playing very well, otherwise I wouldn't be having the results that I'm having. He'll be back on Tuesday to face Russia's Karen Khachanov, and we'll be here to take you through it." Denotes next to serve. Roger Federer beats Yuichi Sugita 6-4. 6-3. Sugita saves 1 match point on his serve, running down a drop shot, but Federer jumps all over a second serve at 30-40 to end the match in spectacular, forehand winner style. That took him just 66 minutes. Federer 6-4. 5-3. Sugita. A couple of backhand errors from Federer as he gets greedy in the twing, but he later proves he can do it, sealing the game with a fine winner down the line. It's a shot that has improved so much since that 2016 knee surgery, and he looks pretty pleased with himself there. There is a really jovial atmosphere developing around the stadium too, with both players starting to enjoy themselves. Sugita serving to stay in it. Federer 6-4. 4-3. Sugita. A rare comfortable hold for Sugita with the new balls, even though Federer appears to be trying to hit the cover off them. Federer 6-4. 4-2. Sugita. Last game with the old fluffy balls, but they don't bother Federer, who has 1 foot in the ice bath at this point and is swinging for the fences. Federer 6-4. 3-2. Sugita. An important hold for Sugita after losing 3 on the spin, but I don't think there is much belief in him that he can turn this around at this stage. Federer 6-4. 3-1. Sugita. The first challenge of the season comes from Federer, usually a very good challenger, but that second serve is indeed wide at 40-0. But the consolidatory hold is the 1 point later with a slapping change-up forehand across the court. Stunning Federer 6-4. 2-1. Sugita. Federer is starting to push the pace now, but Sugita is lifting himself, battering back a couple of baseline balls at 15-30 before running in to make a stop volley. However, A mid-court ball is too easy for Federer to whip inside out into the corner and bring up break point. Sugita pulls a backhand wide and Federer breaks in the second set. Federer 6-4, 1-1 Sugita. That was one speedy service hold from Federer, including an acrobatic slam dunk smash at the net. 36 years young. Federer 6-4, 0-1 Sugita. Really lovely stuff from Federer, who is chopping and changing the pace of the rallies, making it hard for Sugita to settle. Credit to the world no 40 though, as he battles his way back from 0-30 with 4 straight points to ensure he is not broken again. Roger Federer takes the first set 6-4. Federer brings up 3 set points in a pretty simple fashion, working behind that big first serve, and converts the first to seal the opener in just over half an hour. Easy as you like for the world no 2, and the white crossed flags are waving all over this 13,000-seater stadium. Federer 5-4 Sugita. Federer makes it 30-30 when he nonchalantly swats away a looping net cord at close range, but Sugita finds a couple of first serves. The Japanese stays alive in the set and forces Federer to serve for it. Federer 5-3 Sugita. Federer loses a little of his rhythm on first serve and Sugita is handed 2 break points by it, but the Swiss saves with consummate apparent ease. A brilliant backhand down the line leaves Sugita scrambling at advantage. Federer and the world no 2 holds. Federer 4-3 Sugita. Sugita stops the rot, despite getting caught out on one occasion when running around his backhand wing to play his favored forehand, leaving the court open for Federer to fire a winner. Federer 4-2 Sugita. Federer consolidates to 15, sealing the game with a deft drop shot. Federer 3-2 Sugita. Swinging for the fences at 30-0, Federer sees a short serve so early and batters a backhand winner past Sugita. Then, at 30-30, he attacks the net and Sugita can't land the pass, bringing up the second break point of the match. The Japanese hands it to Federer, really doing nowhere near enough with a forehand approach and allowing the Swiss to whip a backhand across him to win the game. Federer 2-2 Sugita. Some vintage Federer on show. First there is an inside-out forehand and then we see that classic serve out wide in the ad court, running in to put away the chip return. Sug runs down a drop volley to make it 40-30 and then keeps himself in a rally long enough for Federer to run around for a forehand which he frames way into the crowd. The Japanese then has the chance to force break point but nets his own drop volley with the court beckoning. Opportunity squandered by Sugita. Federer 1-2 Sugita. Federer lands a brilliant forehand winner on the run to make it 30-30 but then flies an uber positive backhand long and repeats the trick off a kick serve on the very next point. The Swiss is definitely trying to get off to a fast start. Federer 1-1 Sugita. Very routine for Federer, who is on the board for the 2018 season before the calendar year has even started. Weird. Federer 0-1 Sugita. Nothing out of the ordinary from either player, who will contend with 30-degree heat at the beginning here, although with the sun going down, it will get a little cooler and the so-called Fremantle doctor, a sea breeze to you and me, should help temperatures too. Federer comes forward at 40-30 and makes an excellent backhand drive volley that eventually forces deuce. The Swiss forces an early break point but can only net a backhand, and 2 points later, Sugita is on the board with a stunning pass after a brilliant rundown of a seemingly lost cause. 9.25 am. The players are out on court ahead of schedule, which is good news given we've got 3 matches in this session. This men's singles match is the only one we're interested in for the moment though. Sugita has won the toss and chosen to serve, which is a surprisingly confident choice given the 29-year-old doesn't look particularly bold. 9.15 am. It's worth noting the activities of the other members of the so-called Big Four this week. Nadal had already pulled out of the Mubadala World Tennis Championship and Brisbane International, while Djokovic pulled out of the former at the last minute yesterday. Murray was in Abu Dhabi anyway and agreed to play an exhibition set against Roberto Bautista to catch up with how that went right here. 9 am. Eaten too much turkey? Sick of your grand's nagging and your uncle's awful attempts at banter? Me too. So let Roger Federer soothe your aching belly. The Swiss may not get any ranking points for his efforts at the Hopman Cup this week, but he can steal a march on his rivals ahead of the Australian Open. Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray are all battling injury, while Federer can prove exactly the sort of shape he is in after his winter break. Sugita and Federer are due on court at 5:30 p.m. local time, which is in about half an hour.